Ready? Okay. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Needham, Councilman Bills, Supervisor Runyon,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Volusia.
Here.
Okay. Just a couple things under discussion. I really don't have any resolutions except for the two that we tabled until today. We could take the landfill increase first if you want. Bring the motion back to the floor.
Yeah.
The landfill fees one?
Yeah.
Ed's making a motion to bring it back to the floor,
Okay.
and I'll second it.
There's only a couple things that I think are actually losing revenue on, that's tires and the non-process.
Okay.
And mattresses, that's, well, mattresses and non-process.
Okay. So if you look to your list like
Yeah.
this, we can
Yeah.
decide
Yeah.
what you want to increase. I know tires.
Tires, definitely.
Were you thinking $8?
I would say $8.
Okay.
That'll cover the tire costs and our labor costs, for handling costs.
And that includes transporting them too, then? Okay.
So that's tires less than 20 inches.
Right, regular tires.
The truck tires are going to go up 20 inches or better, some will be 10.
Okay.
They're 15 now.
On the,
Big truck tires.
okay.
So what did you want to do, raise that up?
Okay, there it is. For 20 inches or less. I think we should stick to the price that's out there.
15 is
Yeah,
good?
the same person's going to haul it.
Okay, so you want to keep that one?
Yeah.
Not 15. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna be $8 for 20 inches and less, and $15 for tires larger than 20 inches.
Exactly.
Which 15 is what it currently is, so
Yeah.
we're just
We
increasing.
don't get too many of those.
No, we don't.
You didn't have to.
Very few. Most of the roads that we get come from the highway. Their standard procedure for them.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'd be paying ourselves then?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you said mattresses. What do we need to do there?
The mattress, well,
Right here.
box springs and mattresses, I think we should go $5 a piece on that because that raised them there too.
So make it 15 and 20
Yeah.
for both?
Box springs, small, clean, double down.
Okay.
Maybe 5 more, but some of them big mattresses they bring in, they're huge and they're heavy. I don't know what they're made of.
Right.
There's some kind of material, and then they get wet.
Yeah, that's.
So we're increasing all box springs and all mattresses by $5. So they're gonna be
15.
15 and 20. Okay.
Okay.
Garbage bags you wanted to leave the same, right?
That's fine. Our revenue line there,
We're
we're doing
fine.
really well on that. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you, what was gonna be the same?
The garbage bags,
Oh,
they're
okay.
not gonna go up.
So all three of those are the same?
Yes.
And as far as everything else, like couches, chairs, small TVs, and medium TVs, and large TVs, I really would rather not raise the price on them until we can afford a scale to make it,
Right.
That's
fine.
better for everyone.
Where do you fit in other electronic stuff, computer stuff, things like that, printers? Where do you put that in here?
We used to have a flat like on microwaves and $3, and vacuum cleaners are $3. And like the small printers are usually between $2 and $3.
So you mean, you need me to add that to the
Yeah,
list, printers
Print,
and computers, you want me to add one of them to the list too?
yeah.
Okay.
They're usually between $2 and $3.
I'll put the
It would solve a lot of our problem if we had a 4x4 scale.
Okay,
You know, okay, you know what I mean, Randy? Then there'd be no question, because
you would go by the pound.
Eli charges so much per pound per unit. So
Mhm.
if we could come up with a scale down the road, this would simplify this so much easier, especially down like smaller stuff. TVs, you know,
Yeah, some TVs are heavier than others, those
Oh,
newer
yeah.
TVs.
everything is different.
Well, if you tell me what I need to Google to get prices, I can do that. You just let me know,
Yeah,
like, I don't know what they're
I'll bring you
called.
some paperwork.
Okay.
Okay.
Like one of those 4x4 digital scales is what you're
Yeah,
talking
just like one, very effective, you know, it reads it right out. And then,
So then, to summarize, the only things we're changing, we're adding a category for computers and printers for $3.
Yeah.
We're changing tires 20 inches and less to $8.
right,
And then all box springs
will increase $5.
will increase $5 and all
Well,
mattresses.
sizes.
Yep, all sizes and all mattresses will increase $5.
The sheet going over the landfill, the increase.
Couches, chairs,
Part of
and
that.
small
Go through
TVs.
about 4 pages.
I'm not very good at guessing weight, so I just have to go by a standard size, you know. And I haven't had any complaints yet.
Okay, so, the one other thing you mentioned earlier, non-processable,
Right.
do you wanna do something?
I wanted to raise that $5 a load for a pickup load. And then again, every pickup box is different.
And you could have a 4 foot, an
You
8
have to
foot,
kind
a
of-
6 foot.
So we're gonna make that $25 a pickup load.
Mhm.
But then again, like I said, then again,
You
you
wanna
gotta
see
come
the
to an
numbers?
8-foot box,
We're changing
or
these.
6-foot box, or even a
These.
5-foot box. You have
These
to.
up $5 each.
Would you agree with that?
Higher, I'm going to 8 and 15, and non-processable is 25. So if you want a copy off of it.
Now, like in our freezers and refrigerators, that standard $10 fee, and air conditioning, that's so that we're gonna have to start keeping a record when we have reclaimed. And then after the reclaim, you can still scrap,
What's reclaiming?
taking the gas out.
Oh,
We should keep a record.
Take out the freon or
Yeah,
whatever's
we
in
should, if they come in, we should keep, that's what that fee is for.
Okay.
And I have some paperwork at home,
Oh,
a company
okay.
that does that. And there's
Uh-huh.
probably, there might be somebody local that does it too,
Mm-hmm.
but we should do that and keep our own record. We haven't had any complaints from the, Kelman job, there's always a chance, so I think we should start that,
Okay.
and we'll keep a record of it. Okay? What we have, and then that price would be fine, because that's just a standard fee. And then
Okay.
once the gas is out, then it's scrap, put into the bin.
Okay, and then do we get money on them or no?
Yeah.
So that goes into our bet.
Who do we have pickups at?
Kelman,
Kelman.
Guns Falls, yeah, used to be Cohen,
Yeah.
same people, they're good. And even the last time you picked them out, up, you even paid us for 10 cans, and normally they don't.
Hmm.
We did the last time. And I think other than that, we're doing okay.
Okay. Because I'm gonna update this and give it to Matt Turk to put on the website.
So, we have a motion, we brought this resolution back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We have
I think we should do part of it to say that we're adding printers and computers to it, right? You think we need to do that?
Yeah, we should put that.
Okay.
Maybe we have been charging.
No, I meant, do you think it has to be part of the resolution?
It's all part of electronics, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, it's just breaking it out.
So you want me to make a resolution to update the 22 rate schedule to include the things that we just enumerated?
That's fine,
You
yeah,
want me to do that?
We
yeah.
can do that.
So should this be a modification of the resolution we have on the floor?
I mean, you're gonna amend it, I mean, if you just.
Right.
Um,
Just so we're specific about what changes we're making.
Yeah, so I would add this right to the resolution in a minute.
Okay, so you don't need another resolution.
Yeah, I think as long as you got all these things here.
Okay.
I can type them in, so you have a clean copy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I just want to mention to Doug, when, just so you guys know, if somebody comes a little late, it tells me in my lawman or my town clerk lawman, I have to record exactly what time you come in. I don't want you to think I'm doing that for any other reason except I have to, because the minutes need to show that you weren't maybe here to bring a motion to the floor, but you were here to vote on. Just so you know that.
Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we second that.
I'll
motion?
second.
So wait a minute.
Well,
What-
we already had a motion on the floor.
Okay.
I made this, I think I made motion and you seconded it.
No.
Ed made motion, I seconded, okay. So we have the motion.
Yeah,
and-
you're on the floor. You're on the
Originally,
floor.
but now we gotta redo it, because it was, it's tabled, so. Ed brought it, Randy seconded it. Okay, then, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, I'll retype that and send that to Cynthia. So the other resolution we had tabled was to adopt the fund balance policy. And in your packet is the end of the year, the end of the year financials. So if you go, like, there's a page in there, it's a little more than halfway in, the balance sheet of the general fund. I should have put a sticky note on the side. You know, I can find it real quick if you want. That might be it. I'll do that too.
Enterprise fund balance.
Nope, keep going down. Balance sheet,
Balance sheet,
general fund?
general fund townwide.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
I think mine looks different than yours.
Should. What's your fund balance, say 433,948? Or are you on a trial balance?
I'm on a trial balance. Okay, balance sheet.
Yeah.
Trial
Is this resolution on the floor yet? Did anybody?
No,
We should bring that to the floor.
balance. Yeah, I brought it for you.
Just want to make sure I didn't miss something.
I'll bring it to the floor so we can talk about
Okay. Second.
Okay, balance sheet. I got it.
it. Okay. So, the $433,948.96 is our fund balance at this current present time at the end of the old year
For the general fund.
for the general fund, yeah? And it includes all those items, the cash, the New York class, the C&D closure account, and then there's a due from other funds. It's no longer a due from, that money was moved at the end of December, but not reflected at the bank until January 3rd. So that will be off and become part of the cash. So we could still count that number there. My question is about this $1,660.54. That's food pantry cash. It's not really town funds. I don't really think that should be in our financials. It's not town money. It's donation money. And it used to be a separate bank account. And then it was moved somehow onto the financial.
They used to have it.
So
So,
it used to have a separate bank account, but now it's in our general fund bank account?
it's in our general fund financials, but I do believe it's still a separate bank account.
I think they go through separate check.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that should be off of here.
It should have its own
It shouldn't be anywhere on here, on our financials, because it's not town money, we have no control over it. I don't know who the signatory is on that checking account, I'll have to call the bank and find out. I don't think I signed a signature card for it.
I don't remember seeing a bank account for it.
No.
It used to have its own bank account, yeah. Because I remember, do you remember, Cynthia, we were gonna buy the freezer out of that? And we were also gonna buy turkeys at one time out of that, but it had its own checking account.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to check on that and see where that money actually physically is.
I don't know who's that.
And what we wanna do, there should be like a committee, maybe the people that handle the food pantry, they may have some idea what they might wanna do with it.
Okay.
It's donation money, I know that.
Sometimes actually sit money aside for them too.
Okay, so that is where we're at. That's our fund balance as of right now, that's just our cash available for fund balance at the end of the year. But then we also have funds from that are being held, like the coronavirus fiscal relief money. We can't spend, we have to know that that money is allocated toward that. Remember we talked about knowing where it's allocated? So also in your packet is the occupancy tax report, and that's telling you how much we have in occupancy tax funds right now, the end of the year. And this doesn't include the check that was just done. This is at the end of 2022. We have $53,322 left in our occupancy tax fund. So that's also part of this $43,000. And the other thing we have to keep in mind is the garbage truck payment and
When we have one payment left on the garbage truck.
I think so.
Paid for,
Paid off
doesn't
before
seem
we
that
go.
long.
It doesn't seem like possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe two payments. We might have one payment this year, then 2024 it's paid off. Yeah.
It's gone bad.
So next month, when we have the January one in front of us and we look at the trial balance sheet, that will take into account what we expect to get and what we expect to spend. And that fund balance would be totally different than this one. Just so you know, this is where we're at right now as of December 31st. Okay, so when we're deciding on the fund balance policy, if we were going to do 3 months of expenses, $176,618, and we already have in the bank, well, even if you just, how are we gonna put that? Like, fund balance would be in your class, right? So 176,618, and we have 1,2,3. That's 74,000 more than we have in there now, which when the taxes come in, we can plug that number in there to have the 3 months worth if you want that to be the policy. If the policy is going to be the 15% at 105,000, we only need 3,000 more to make it. So, and I mean, that's a goal. It doesn't mean that we have to physically always have that. That's a goal. So it's up to you. I mean, I prefer to have 3 months. I think it's doable. I mean, even just in our sales tax code alone, there's like over 68,000 left extra revenue that we did not use to do any budget adjustments with. So we did pretty good. I think it's doable. It's up to you guys whether you want to go with the 15% or the 3 months. So do you have the numbers for that? This is what 3 months would be, yeah, from last week or last month. Okay.
I agree with you on the 3 months.
The 3 months. And like I said, that's a goal. We don't have to have it. If we need it, it's there. Okay, so then resolution would read the same as it was before, only instead of adopting 15%, we would adopt 3 months
Yeah.
of appropriations for the general fund and the highway fund as a sufficient amount. So we're just gonna change the 15% to 3 months, and the dollar amount for general will be 176,618, and highway will be 362,072.
And so, and what was the 362 what?
072.
072?
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other discussion you want to have about the fund balance policy? No? Anybody else?
So, last time I had recommended we do the highway equipment fund, and I'm just trying to understand your note here, prefer to lease with option, what payment amount in the budget?
Because it takes so long to get a truck, instead of saving to buy the truck, I
Okay,
thought lease with option, like what we do now, paying it off. So I would really like at the end of next year or middle of next year, sometime, next year, start the payment plan again like we did with the other 2 trucks, giving us time, instead of having a savings toward it, paying it off, and then have that payment in the budget, like it is now for the other truck. Because we'll be done with our payments in 2024.
Yeah.
So we could, in 2023, at the end, initiate 2 more payments for 2 more trucks. And it'll take us 2 years to get them.
okay. I think, I understand what you're saying. When I suggested highway equipment fund, I wasn't focusing just on trucks, I was
Oh.
thinking of all equipment that the highway uses.
A general.
You know, Pat listed off like 18 or 20 different pieces of equipment that the highway has.
Okay,
So I was thinking of more of a general highway equipment fund.
okay,
And also, I think if you use part of the fund balance for a highway equipment fund, you can still do this.
yeah,
So, I mean, it's not either or, I think you can still do the lease with option to buy. You
okay,
just have the money in there so that when the lease payment comes due.
okay. In addition to what we already have, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
I just didn't, I guess my concern was that the highway fund, not the equipment fund, but the highway fund is gonna be used to cover unexpected expenditures, natural disasters, road repair, equipment rental, and all that stuff. And so if you have 15% or whatever you put in there 3 months, and you have something happen and you deplete that, you're taking away money that you might need for equipment. I
okay,
was thinking about having separate highway
Okay.
funds for that, a highway fund and a highway equipment fund.
that's fine.
So-
I'm agreeable to that. Did you have a dollar amount in mind, or did you want it to be a percentage, or?
I think that some of these things, well, first of all, we never know exactly from year to year how much our fund balance is gonna be. So for some things like the general fund and the highway fund, you're either doing 15% or 3 months, whichever we elect to do. And then whatever's left of the fund balance is gonna
Okay.
get divvied up between these other funds.
I see,
So.
use the balance for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of, and I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but, I mean, that's what my thinking was.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Well,
It sounds logical. Very good.
yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we look at what the highway has at the end of this year, well, they really, because so much of their money is in their class, it's really, maybe we should wait till we have the January one. I mean, we could come up with a dollar amount now if you want, and then when we have the January one, we'll know more where we're at.
I think what you could do is the same as you did for the highway garage fund, so that one has 300,000 in, and you put in here, and increases will be determined by town board majority vote.
Okay.
So, well, at the end of each year, whenever we decide what the fund balance is, we take the 3 months and we put it in the general fund, we take the 3 months and put it in the highway fund,
Mhm.
and then we cover the C&D closure,
Right,
and then the rest of what is remaining, we can split between the highway equipment fund and the highway garage by
Oh,
majority vote.
yeah, that's
Do it
perfect.
that way.
Okay, I think that's a good idea.
Because you never really know what the number's gonna be
No,
until
you
you know how
don't.
much you have left over.
Exactly.
You know,
So,
okay. So we will create a highway equipment fund, and at the end of the year, we will decide how much to put in. And we'll split that between the garage and the equipment. Okay? Very good. Okay. Do you have any other thing, anything you want to say now? Anybody? No. Okay, we can vote on this thing.
we gotta make a motion to bring it to the floor.
No, we did. I did, and Ed seconded
The
it.
fund balance one?
Yeah.
That was last meeting we did, but we tabled, we haven't done it yet tonight, have we?
Yeah.
Jenny made the motion and Ed made the second.
I slept through that, sorry.
I didn't hear.
Okay. I'm glad you're paying attention.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't hear it, but I'm always paying attention.
Well, I don't pay attention, you can't hear, we're a great pair. Perfect.
We all need each other.
Okay.
Okay, so it's resolved that the town of Thurman adopts 3 months of appropriations for the general fund and the highway fund as a sufficient amount to hold in fund balance. For the general, it's $176,618. For the highway, it'll be $362,072. We're going to create a highway equipment fund, and at the end of each year, by majority vote, we will split the remaining fund balance between the highway garage fund and the equipment fund.
Can you get that all written down so I can?
I do, I have it all written
I want to make sure it's right.
down.
So, copy from you.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Great.
That's good, very good. Okay. All right, so I did want to let you know that I was visited by a representative from National Business Technologies. They do our copier in there, the Kyocera. And we're up for renewal, but not until December 31st of 2023. So we have another pretty much a year before that. As far as that printer goes, we own that. It would be difficult to get parts if anything goes wrong with it, but we can continue to use it. We can continue to buy toner on our own for it. The one that's inside Jamie's office is the one that we lease. Right now, we're paying $70 a month to lease it, which includes toner and maintenance. It's going to go up to $136.10 for a 63-month lease. Another quote that she gave me, and this is for color. Right now, that one doesn't do color. We don't really need color. It was $190-something a month. I looked at the numbers of how many copies are made on that printer. Not even a ream of paper a month. Everybody has their own small printers in their offices that we all use. I run the packet off on it, but that's about it. So my thought is, at the end of our lease, we don't really need it. I mean, I don't feel we need it. We're fine with the small ones that we use, and the price is doubling. So,
So you can buy a small printer for $100.
yeah,
So $136 times 12 months, let's say it around 30, that comes out to $1,632.
I have never known that printer to need toner, have you?
Not that I know.
I don't ever remember putting toner, we don't use it much.
I've been trying to send more things, because I don't have to get toner from my printer. So
We-
I can send it to that, but we don't come close.
You can buy a lot of printers and a lot of toner for $1,632.
And we get 2,700 copies a month, and we barely use 300. And that's me trying to use it, like printing these things out.
We can still use that one, right?
Yeah, that one we own, that's ours, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I would let it expire.
That's what I
We
want to do.
probably can't terminate it now, right?
No.
Okay.
No, but we can let it expire. I mean, she did discuss with me security issues because it's wireless. I reached out to Mike Colvin and he said that we really don't need to worry about somebody hacking into our printer. I don't believe it's a cybersecurity issue. I would prefer they be hardwired right into your computer, you know, because someone outside did tell me that when they go to hook up to Wi-Fi, the printer, the Hewlett-Packard printer upstairs pops up as a Wi-Fi thing. I don't know how that works, but.
Yeah. Well, it searches for any computer that's in the area, actually.
Yeah, but it can't like hook to it, can it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
If you find a computer, it will.
Huh. Well, it's a
That's how I got
printer.
mine. I'm not too smart about putting it out.
I mean,
You just hit automatic and it found it for me. It did.
yeah, but were you able to hook up to it?
Yeah, I could print.
You could print on our printer upstairs.
Well, I can on mine at home. I found it. For my
You don't need a
computer.
password or anything.
Not once you're on.
Probably the one upstairs, there's probably someplace in the settings, a place to put a password or something.
It should be, yeah.
I don't know, but it's really squeaking and stuff, so, you know, we may replace that one. I don't know, but I don't think we need to spend $136 a month on that,
No.
you know? So I have it here.
They said you can buy a lot of computers.
Yeah, we
Printers
can
for
buy
that.
everyone a new one, but pretty much people have a new one. I
Yeah.
mean, the historian has it in her budget to get a printer. She'll be hardwired to her laptop. Jamie she would like to have that out there. It takes up a lot of her space and she doesn't really use it.
Doesn't have much room.
No. So it says here the lease expires 12/24/2023, so you still have time. If you decide to upgrade to the new, it does include paying off the current machine. I'm wondering if that's why we own that one. Because when we upgraded to the new one, they paid that one off, just like this is. Because that's how it works now. I'm assuming that's how we ended up with it.
Pretty likely, yeah.
Those business machines went out of business, and that's where that came from.
Uh-huh.
That has something to do with it.
Says here you can't renew the lease that is expiring, so we can't renew that one. And you can purchase the machine after it expires. We really don't need it. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna decide to write out the lease. I mean, I don't need a resolution or anything, I'm just saying, we're just supposed to write out the lease and let it go. Okay. So then our next thing is short-term rentals. At the county this year, I'm put on 8 committees and I chair one of them. The one that I'm on that I was just at the meeting yesterday was the occupancy tax. I'm on the occupancy tax committee. So I asked a question about getting the list of who of our residents are on the list for short-term rentals. And that will be coming in a few weeks. I think last week was the deadline for people to register and pay their fee or whatever, pay their taxes. So I will be getting the list. They no longer use Granicus, they're doing it on their own. He told me in Warren County, there's about 1,000 registered people, about 175 people that they know that aren't registered that they know of. They estimate there's about 1,500 in the county.
How do they police this actually, or how do they?
Well, they had Granicus doing it. They had a firm that was going online, I guess, and doing the same thing Tuck and Sue do, making a list. And Sue has a list. Well, you saw it. It was in our packet last time. And I just want to compare that to what they have to see if there are people that are missing that Sue knows about and they don't.
I mean, you can go to the Airbnb website or the VRBO website and just search, you know, anybody within certain zip codes and see which places are, it'll show you all the ones that are available for rent. And then all you gotta do is go look on the county's tax map stuff and you can figure out who owns that property.
Yeah, that's what Sue does. She makes a list.
It's easy enough.
Yeah, but they won't get the private people who aren't on Airbnb or that VRBO or whatever.
Right.
It won't pick those up, but they'll know, they know who's doing it because they live right here and they see it, you know. You can see that it's rented every week or whatever. So I just wanna let you know, and then I talked to some people at the meeting, you know, other supervisors about what they were doing, and I did get, the short-term rental agreement that Warrensburg uses, you saw it, right?
Pretty elaborate.
I read that, and so we're gonna have a few challenges in order to pull this off. First of all, that law references the zoning and it references the code enforcement officer.
Right.
We have neither of those.
Right.
One thing I saw that was absent from that, and it's probably covered under whatever the general language is for the code enforcement officer, but, you know, having spent 33 years with DEC working with wastewater systems, there's no mention in there of sanitary code.
Septic?
And compliant, yes.
I asked him and he said they use the county for that, the county inspector, I guess.
Yep, but I would think that that law would have some reference about, you know, any short-term rental having adequate
Right.
sanitary facilities.
Prior to.
Because-
Prior to rental.
Right, because think about it, most homes are like 2 or 3, 4-bedroom homes, and they're meant for a family of 3 or 4 or 5 people.
Right.
And some of these homes I've seen on Airbnb where they're putting, you know, multiple beds and they're putting in rooms that weren't bedrooms, and they're
Yeah.
advertising can accommodate 15 people.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden,
Now the sewer's not capable of.
exactly, I mean, and it may have been questionable to begin with, and now you're overloading it, so.
Right.
I mean, that's something that, you know, needs to be considered.
Incorporated in,
Yeah.
they
So-
have to be checked before they can even
Right.
open up.
So if we don't, you know, I know Warrensburg has their own code enforcement officer, so it mentions
they
the
have
code
people,
enforcement officer.
yeah.
So if we're gonna pass this, we gotta figure out, okay, how are we gonna enforce it, because we gotta have somebody to do it. And you can't just have the county do it, and, I mean, I doubt they're gonna agree to
No.
do it.
You're almost gonna have to create a job for the
Right.
position is to be the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should for other reasons as well.
Is Warrensburg have somebody that does that?
Yeah, they've had code
What
enforcement.
about some of the smaller towns like Stony Creek?
I think most of the small towns, just like us, rely on the county to do all of
Mhm.
that. And for normal code enforcement stuff, I think that's fine. But if we're gonna pass a law addressing short-term rentals, I doubt the county code enforcement's gonna wanna do that. So I think we're gonna have to do it ourselves. And probably creating some kind of a part-time position for code enforcement is fine. And just along those lines, I know that, Tuck and Susie have mentioned to me a couple of times, there's certain things that go through their office that they get requested to sign. Sometimes there's things that I think you get
Yeah,
requested to sign.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That really more appropriately should be done by a code enforcement officer. So
Right.
there's probably more stuff for a code enforcement officer to do than just what we're talking about with short-term rentals, that they could take some of that other stuff and do that. But the other thing is, we don't really have zoning.
Right.
I know at one time, the town passed something to do with the sanitary code, and I remember talking to Dave Kenyon about this years ago. I don't believe that what was passed was appropriate. And the reason I say that, New York State Department of Health has what they call Appendix 75A. That is the minimum sanitary code that's applicable statewide. And the town's intent was to adopt Appendix 75A and enforce it here at the local level. But what they actually did adopt was less than Appendix 75A, which is inappropriate. So I think what we probably are gonna need to do is we're probably gonna need to adopt Appendix 75A as our sanitary code, or create our own, which the only thing that we can legally do is either adopt Appendix 75A or adopt something that's more stringent. I don't see any need for us to do
That's a
something more
minimum,
stringent.
yeah.
That's a minimum.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable, I'm sure. So we need to do that. We need to think about, you know, for that references zoning, are we gonna do anything? I can't imagine that we're gonna do full-blown zoning like Warrensburg has. I mean, we already have the APA has zoning in town, and I don't know
Yeah.
why we need to do anything else. But we do need to do something as far as a code enforcement officer if we're gonna enforce this.
Yeah.
And we talked once before there's gonna be multiple steps that we have to figure out how we're gonna do before we can just jump right in and have a, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some of the things that they talked about, they have a license that you have to get at the town.
Yep.
And here it's 3-year. There's a checklist that they have to show that they have adequate septic, adequate parking and all that before they get the license. Now, the one town told me no bonfires, but up here, I mean, I don't know, everybody has bonfires up here. I don't think we
As
need
long as
that.
they're not creating a nuisance to the
Right.
neighbors, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
As long as they're in compliance with whatever fire code. I mean, DEC has burn bans at certain times of the year when it's too dry.
Right, oh, well, that would be a good thing to think about, when the burn bans are, yeah. Another one they had was no barking dogs, I don't think we really, I don't think we need that one. But we can have the noise ordinance, so after 10, if your dog is barking and bothering somebody, something can be
There's
done
been
about it.
complaints.
Yeah, but during the day, I don't think it should matter. Adequate
Rowdy
parking.
people. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it depends how close you are, like I have a lot of land around me, it wouldn't bother me, but
Some people do.
yeah, some
And
people
they're-
have a
they're
neighbor.
elderly people and they're nervous. We
Yeah.
really need to address this.
Well, knowing who's staying in it is
Yeah.
another, there should be a log of who is there, not just who rents it, but who's staying
That's right.
there. That would be,
So I think maybe a first step, maybe we need to talk, since Mark Shackner authored this.
Yeah, he did.
We probably need to talk to him about what things are different in town of Thurman versus what, because we don't have a code enforcement officer. What do we need to do to create that position? I don't think you can just hire somebody. I think you might have to go through, I don't know, a local law or referendum maybe to create something like that.
yeah, I think so, it does have to be a little law.
There's certain steps that he's gonna have more knowledge about that he could offer.
And he knows our town,
Yeah.
so he would know our different situations that we have.
So
Because
maybe-
what this is like, a lot of it doesn't apply to us, really.
So,
Basically,
maybe a suggestion, maybe you wanna start by giving Mark a call.
Yep.
Tell him what we're thinking about doing.
Mhm.
Ask him if maybe it's appropriate if he comes and addresses the town board so we can have a discussion about this. Or maybe he can just give you some guidance over the phone and tell us what we need to do next.
Yeah, I think we need to get something in place.
so,
I agree.
And if he says we need a zoning officer because someone's gonna have to enforce this, then we'll have to put out an ad for a zoning officer. So is there a difference between a zoning officer and a code enforcer? Or are they the same?
I think there's gonna be just differences. I mean, the code enforcement officer's gonna look more at like structural stuff and like septic and stuff like that. Zoning is gonna,
Like our rules, build or,
yeah, with zoning, you've got things like, if somebody's proposing a subdivision, how many lots they can have, how big they can be, what the setbacks are, things like that. There's probably some overlap between the two positions depending on how regulations are written. but
which one would be better for us to have? The code
I
enforcement?
think we need a code enforcement officer.
Okay, I'll reach out to Mark and, we'll go from there. I'll tell him that I have a copy of this. He knows our town, he knows what we have, what we don't have here. He's very familiar with it. Okay. And by then I'll have the list,
right.
so I'll know if there's any people we know that aren't registered. And I can let Mike Swan's office know. Okay. The other thing I had was I'd like to schedule the audit for the February meeting, to have everybody look over the books. So, let's see. That would be, our meeting would be on the 16th of February. Does that work for you? That Thursday?
That's our regular meeting.
Yeah, that's our regular meeting. Yeah, do you mind if we do the audit then? It doesn't take much time. We don't need a special meeting for it, right?
You'll notify all the department heads to bring the books.
I already told Kathy about it, and she's preparing her books for that. Okay.
60.
think that's all I have, other than payment of the claims. Does anybody else have anything they wanna?
I saw your email to Matt Turcott, cause I had asked him, a while ago, I told him we were ready for the town website to go live, and then I didn't hear anything from him, and then he said, or you mentioned that you were having trouble getting access to the domain. So anyhow, he's gonna talk to like Holden.
Yeah, I got the email.
Figure that out, so.
Because she tried to call them multiple times, I tried to call them multiple times, GoDaddy, got nowhere.
Yeah.
We get this virtual voice that puts you in a loop.
Yep.
And so I texted Mike and I said, and Matt, I did both of them, and I said, is there any other way we can do this? Why do we need to have them? And so he said, no, you could use the domain that we have, the .gov domain. So it's already in the works, they're working together. I gave Matt Mike's phone number so they can communicate, and they're getting it all worked out.
Great.
And at least now, there's live people I can call if I have issues, so. All right, so is there anything else that you might want to say? You're all good? All right, then our final resolution is to approve payment of the claims. Bring that before it. Okay, Randy, do you want to second it?
I'll send it.
Resolution to approve payment of the claims, the total of abstract 1, general fund, January 24th, 2023 is $27,719.80. The total of abstract 1 for the highway fund, January 24th, 2023 is $72,129.82. The total claims is $99,849.62.
Can I just double check, so $27,719.80?
Yep.
$72,129.82?
Yes. Yes.
$99,846.62.
$849.
Oh, see, I'm glad I wrote it down. So 849.
Yep,
Okay.
62 cents. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Now it's time for your favorite motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
I'll second it.
Doug made this.
I will do.
Okay.
I thought tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yeah, tomorrow,
Yeah, I
Wednesday. I know, I was at the hospital all night. A lot of pain. A lot of pain. They had to drill through her bone. She fell down the stairs and her foot did a full 360. She tore her ligaments, and the bone is cut this way, not this way. So, yeah. It's tied together with disposable wire.